The White Ribbon Campaign Namibia and its partner, the Voice of Men 360, is hosting the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Men and Boys. The event will conclude today and it's being held under the theme Creating Non-Violent Spaces. To give more detail, I'm joined by Charles Simakumba, co-founder of the White Ribbon Campaign Namibia. Mr. Simakumba, good evening. Mr. Simakumba, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us
Simakumba
tonight.
From the White Ribbon. Yes, I'm Charles Simakumba from the White Ribbon Campaign Namibia. This is an NGO that is focused on working with men and boys on violence prevention. Today, the White Ribbon Campaign Namibia and other parts of and other partners, the Voices of Men, 365 days across the globe. We are hosting the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against the Men and Boys. The main aim of this is to bring men on board and to understand that the violence is not only just happening to women, but it too happens to men and boys as well. So on this day, it's whereby we'll be discussing about issues to create safe spaces for all of us, whereby we have seen in all parts of the world today, there's a lot of violence going on, men beating each other, boys also fighting with one another. So we need to address all these issues. That's the reason why this particular day has come on the right time. So we need to address violence on its roots. And these are the men we need to reach out. That's the most important part for this day. So in every country of the world today, they are celebrating this day. They are celebrating this day as the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against men and boys. Because
Just
we have seen violence happening to men, and no one talks about this issue.
Let me just interject there and get an opportunity to ask you a couple of questions. Of course, this day is important in general, but maybe specifically to Namibia and in particular, why is it important for us to take stock and note of this day?
Can you repeat the question again? Because it's a heavy rain here.
I was saying that in general, this day is important, but perhaps specifically in relation to Namibia, why do we have to take particular stock and note of this day?
Well, this day is particularly very, very important in Namibia because we have seen a lot of men are losing their lives, especially when it comes to trauma. So where we need to address these issues among men. As you can see that mental health is more high in this country, Namibia. So therefore, it's important for us to address and to engage men in this area and to bring them to understand the situation that this is not only just maybe men are not going through the pain. Men too also are going through the pain. So we need to address these issues. That's the reason why it's so much important in Namibia to address these issues, to work with men, to bring them on board, to understand that they too also are going through pain so that they can come up with something that is more important, that they can see that, well, we also are caring each other. We are also supportive for each other. We love each other. That's the main thing that we are encouraging people in Namibia to take this day as a very, very important day for them because we have violence against men. Men are fighting each other. Men are abusing each other. If you look at our streets today, every time you see men are beating each other and no one talks about these issues. So this is a day now, we as Namibians, we need to address this issue today, that it's not normal, it's unacceptable. We need to address the issue of gender-based violence in all across the board.
When it comes to the general society, Mr. Simakumba, what role can they play, in eliminating violence against men and boys?
Well, the role the society can play in general is to make sure that we educate our boys. We promote not the notion of saying boys will be boys, but let's try to make sure that we tell the boy that boys can be caring, boys can be supportive, boys also can be compassionate, boys also can, boys also are loving people. That's what we need to tell them, not to tell them about, say, boys must not cry, boys must be tough, boys must be louder. We need to get out with this outdated fashion.
Help us understand what impact, violence can inflict in a young man.
Well, in a young man, it can cause so much damage because if a young man is taught about, say, it's normal for you to have violence, so they will carry this violence into their adult age. No wonder you see we have a lot of high violence in Namibia because we encourage men, we encourage boys to say it's normal. But well, it's unacceptable. So what we should do, we should teach them that no, it is unacceptable, it's not normal. Men can be caring, men are compassionate, men can be supportive, men can be allies in all forms of gender-based violence in the country. That's what we need society to tell the boys around us, that they can also be vulnerable as well when it comes to gender-based violence.
The White Ribbon Campaign obviously does really amazing work. Talk to us about how, the organization is helping sensitize society about the reality of violence against men and boys.
What we do in our work, we do carry some awareness raising, workshops and sensitization in schools and at the workplace. To talk to men about that, about the effects and the harm caused by gender-based violence to men. And we want to bring men on board and to tell men that no, you are not alone. We stand and we support and we care what happens in the lives of men. So therefore, the White Ribbon Campaign is the platform for where men can come and share their expectation, come and share about their pain and what they're going through in their life. That's what we are currently doing in the community right now.
The commemorating of today's International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Men and Boys was under the theme Creating Nonviolent Spaces. What would a nonviolent space look like, an ideal nonviolent space?
What we mean by non-violent spaces is to say no violence among men themselves, that no, every man must be a caring man, every man must be a supportive man. That's what we mean by creating safe spaces for every man. So I must look a brother as a brother. That's what we are saying today on this day, that violence is unacceptable in the eyes of men all over the world right now. That's what it means by saying creating safe spaces, that we need to understand all the things, that no, even men too are going through pain. So what can we do? We need to address all these issues among them, among men themselves.
Mr. Simakumba, just as we round off our discussion, any final remarks you'd like to leave us with?
Well, the final remarks I'd like to share with the public at large is, our vision is for a nation where every woman and girls are free from all forms of men's violence abuse, and everywhere where boys and men use positive words and positive way of living. And I'm encouraging each and everyone to be a role model in our communities right now, that we can role model our young boys. It's not about how far they can punch, but it's about how far they can look their partners or themselves as well and love themselves. That's what I'm encouraging the public at large this afternoon. Thank you.
Mr. Simakumba, thank you so much for your time this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Nina. Bye-bye.
That was Mr. Charles Simakumba, who is the co-founder of White Ribbon Campaign Namibia, speaking to us. We'll be right back.